It was reported yesterday by the New York Post that my former ESPN colleague, my friend Skip Bayless, will be leaving FS1's Undisputed at the end of the summer.
I am so happy! No more bad blood, no more bad shows for me on Undisputed. Finally, it's over.
Skip Bayless was being measured by his ratings, and they were horrible.
He's dead. I don't care. Blah, blah, blah.
They wasted an entire NFL football season trying to put that carousel of characters together.
It is surreal to be here with you three.
It did not work. And I never thought it would work, and it wasn't because of the carousel of characters, if you hear what I'm saying.
But what I'm not going to do is talk about him like he's failed.
So, as many of you already know, it is being reported that Skip Bayless is set to be leaving Undisputed. Whether he got fired or whether he quit, we don't know just yet. Either way, this is potentially the end of an era. Whether you hate Skip Bayless or whether you love Skip Bayless, one thing about him is undeniable, and it's the fact that he is a pioneer in the game of sports media and sports show debate. But at the same time, his soon-to-be departure from Undisputed was not that hard to predict, even though I did not see this coming this soon. But if you take a look at his old co-host Shannon Sharpe's departure, how that ended, the way that it ended, and now the success that Shannon Sharpe is having in sports media and podcasting alone, we all knew that eventually something like this would happen, because Skip Bayless just could not recover from that big of a talent loss.
I did what I did. You make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the effing Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I got 3 Super Bowls.
So what?
So what?
He's way better than you were.
And that is one of the examples that led to Shannon Sharpe wanting out and eventually leaving, as he has stated on multiple occasions.
If somebody else had said what Skip said, I wouldn't have batted an eye. But we're supposed to be teammates. And I think that's what hurt me more than anything.
However, there are small details past and present that we need to discuss when it comes to Skip. But before we do that, make sure that you guys like, comment, and also subscribe to the channel. And with that, let's get into this video. So, where do I start with Skip Bayless? Maybe his old show at that time, Cold Pizza, that eventually helped create what is now called First Take, and how eventually he helped introduce us to not one, but two guys who are now some of the biggest figures in sports media today.
I really appreciate Skip believing in me and bringing me there, even when the network wanted him to hire a journalist.
Where I am, where I've been, especially where the hell I'm going, none of it's possible if Skip Bayless doesn't extend that helping hand and brings me on First Take.
Or his countless arguments with former players on his shows.
Can't expect nothing less from you. I mean, you with your battling. You see, I have a job because I'm good. You have a job because you say the most erratic thing and you get the craziest responses out of people. You get a rise out of them. You're very entertaining, Skip.
I believe, Terrell, that you helped ultimately make all 3 of those teams a little worse by internally tearing them apart.
You need to move on till today.
No, you need to move on. What does he do every fourth quarter?
You're right.
Game after game after game. They all say it. He's inspired the whole franchise.
In my 24 years of life, I'm better at life than you. So
Okay. All right, that's fair.
Or even that time when Jalen Rose cooked him on live TV.
Jalen, what were you?
Where were you? Did you
What were you?
Did you average 1.4 points as a senior in high school?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so all of that Pistol Pete stuff, Water Pistol Pete Jr.
Okay, well, we'll address that later. We're going to.
Don't ignore that. Did you play junior?
Yeah.
Did you play JV as a junior?
Yeah.
Okay.
Either way, I think we can all say Skip knew how to get eyes for better or for worse. And back in the First Take era of things, Skip Bayless had the public enemy #1 persona down packed. He had it mastered, as well as his obsession over LeBron James. He knew what would get clicks and views, eyes and attention, and learned how to lean on that as heavy as he could. The combination of Skip and Stephen A worked, the chemistry, the cohesion was there, and that opportunity is something that Stephen A has always been very thankful for. Years with Skip on First Take went by until one day he found himself in contract disputes with ESPN. And in a move that some people didn't see coming at that time, he decided to bet on himself and move over to Fox Sports. And at that time, many people wondered a couple of things. One, How will he be able to find another guy who will be able to go back and forth with him for multiple hours? And two, would that guy be entertaining enough to keep an audience? Well, he decided to partner up with the NFL Hall of Famer, Shannon Sharpe, who, just like in his playing days, got better and better at sports debate. He was the perfect person to sit on the other side of Skip Bayless at that time, and we know how the story ended, but these two had a great 7-year run. And with that in mind though, it's funny thinking back on it now and how fast things could change. It was at one point where Undisputed was way more entertaining, at least to me, than First Take was when Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe were both on the show and having a good time. And now in current day, Undisputed is a show that I rarely hear people talk about. And this is a downfall that all started with the departure of Shannon Sharpe. As we watch Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless arguments get more and more heated.
I resent that.
What?
I do. I
What you
resent
resent?
that notion. Do you think I'm trying to play to people like I'm trying to
Jimmy-
Wait. Have I ever talked to Tom Brady once in my life?
I don't know.
No. I resent that. I do. I seriously. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I don't like that.
Skip, don't
You crossed the line.
Skip,
I'm sorry.
Skip.
I don't talk to anybody. Like nobody
You
in the
let me talk?
history of basketball.
Okay, President Trump, you gonna let me talk?
Oh,
Give me my time. Let me
yeah.
talk.
And you're telling me Brady got outplayed?
He did.
Baloney!
He did get outplayed.
It's the biggest bunch of baloney you've ever spewed.
Yeah.
It's my turn. Stop it. It is my turn because Matthew Stafford. Oh, that's really funny.
Yes!
Man.
Behind Washington Commanders, New York Giants. And it did what it needed to do. Now those 2 drives, and you were still behind. And yeah, come on, Skip, don't do that now. You being real petty, bro. Let me talk. Let me
haven't
talk.
said a word.
I know you're doing that. Come on, that's childish. That's what I know. I got it. And I'm going to continue to go.
All right.
He's 187.
Tell me when it's my turn.
It's not your turn.
Okay.
He's Phil Football Focus got it graded
blah, blah.
37%.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, go ahead.
Blah, blah, blah. You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Thank you. Whew, finally. All right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're going to do this.
I didn't do it
Yes,
for
you
the
did.
first 8 minutes you talked.
The
The first
you did
8
it.
minutes
So
you
are you
talked.
gonna let
I'm
me
going to
finish?
stay on context.
No, you're
here.
not. No,
I'm
you're
going
not.
to keep it on the game.
Every time I'm going to interrupt you like you did me. Go ahead.
I'm still playing at a high level at 45 when you had to stop at 35.
Skip, that's what you do.
That's the point.
That's what you do. I did what I did. You make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the effing Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I got 3 Super Bowls.
So what?
So what?
He's way better than you were.
I'm better than
Way
you.
better.
Skip, what I got to see what you do. You take personal shots.
No,
for this
I don't take personal
Hold on,
shots.
time out,
You
time out,
started it.
Time out. You would take a personal shot at me.
I didn't take a personal shot at you.
Wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
You would take a personal.
Put your glasses back on. I'll support him over anybody because he's the greatest player who ever
Have
played
at
your
it.
game, and it's by
Have at
far.
it. Have at it.
Okay?
Take
A
off.
lot of that is my fault because there were times that led up to that I felt that shots were taken and I let it go because I felt in that moment he had lost all respect for me. I said, had the shoe been on the other foot, what would have been the outcome? It took a lot for me not to put my hands on him. It actually did.
And even with all of those things, there is still one more situation that was eventually the straw that broke the camel's back.
I apologize for what we're going to set out to do here today if it offends anyone, because we're going to try to do the show pretty much as we usually do the show. But I'll admit up front, I'm still shook up by what happened last night.
Shannon Sharpe would miss the show the next day due to these comments.
What happened to DeMar Hamlin struck me a little different.
I'm not going to take it down
Okay,
because I
but-
stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me
Okay.
finish.
All right. Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Go ahead. Let's go, Jen.
I was under the impression you weren't going to bring this up because nobody here had a problem with that tweet.
No, clearly the bosses wanted you to offer explanations, so clearly somebody
No, they
had a
did
problem.
not have. Nobody.
Let's go, Jen.
I guess for me, I can respect you saying you stand on your opinion. I can respect that, but at the same time, it feels low.
Skip was wrong. Plain and simple.
And on June 13th, Shannon Sharpe would officially leave the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is officially my last day at work. I did it all for you guys. You, your brother, your other sister. I love you more than words can say. I love you. Skip Bayless. I appreciate you, man.
I love you, man.
But even at this point, a lot of people did not know if the show was over. Shannon Sharpe would go on to have one of the most successful runs in sports media history, and he is still currently on that run, taking over with shows like Nightcap and his current podcast, Club Shay Shay. But what was there left at Undisputed? Even Shannon Sharpe himself at that time did not realize how big he would become, and so we're looking at a show in Undisputed, wondering how will they ever be able to replace a talent like Shannon Sharpe? And long story short, they just couldn't. Shannon Sharpe's departure left a void that just couldn't simply be filled, and they tried. They had the combinations of Richard Sherman, Rachel Nichols, sometimes Lil Wayne, sometimes, and Keyshawn Johnson. After they saw that this combination simply wasn't working, they decided to add Paul Pierce, which in my opinion was a good move, but it was really a little bit too late, because now it is news that Skip is leaving Undisputed, and unless we find out that the reason Skip is leaving is due to some type of health condition, which I hope is not the case.
I think he's 73. He ain't some 30-year-old that flopped after 1 year. He's been doing it for over 40.
But on the surface, it simply seems like Undisputed isn't performing as well, and the show is simply dying. And in all honesty, it's a show that really does need a revamp. And at this point, I'm not even sure if you can keep the name itself, but whatever they decide to do and decide to slot into that 9 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. to 11 time slot needs to be something with a little more fire. Maybe bring in a Max Kellerman. I think he would be a good replacement for Skip. Keep Paul Pierce, or maybe add somebody else in there to go along with Max Kellerman. But at the end of the day, whether you like Skip Bayless or you don't like Skip Bayless, it's still okay to give a guy his flowers, but at the same time acknowledge that he really got on a lot of people's nerve and said and did a lot of things that he really shouldn't have done. It's going to be interesting to see how this entire situation plays out and what Skip's next move may possibly be. But for right now, I think it's time for me to go play some NCAA 25. So until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next video.